Alright, so what you guys are going to be making now is what I call the magic pillowcase, and it's really cool. But the first thing you need to do is make a trip to the fabric store. And Joann Fabrics is a great place that's in Tower Shopping Center or Walmart, okay? And the scraps of material are great. And what you for this project, and what you want to do is you want to pick 3 coordinating pieces of material, and they don't need to be very big. This is going to be your biggest piece. This is the main piece, okay? So go to the scrap section, all right, and tell the ladies that you need 27 inches, okay, of the main piece of fabric. And it's going to come folded over, all right? So it's folded over. This is going to be the main piece of your pillowcase. And you need 27 inches, all right? Then you need a coordinating piece. I found this piece and I really liked it. And all you need is a little tiny strip of it. And then I picked the blue as the main piece and the yellow as the cuff, all right? So then you're gonna need 9 inches of a coordinating fabric. And again, it's folded over. That's the way the fabric comes. And you're going to need 9 inches. Now, I've already cut this to make it easier. Then you need this. So this is the main piece. The blue is the main piece. The yellow is the cuff. And this is the strip. It also, fabric always comes folded over like that. Comes folded over. And you're going to need 3 inches of that. Okay? So if yours is not the exact measurements, in class, I will help you cut those. Okay. Alright, so once you have your pieces cut out, the first step is going to be to open the strip up, fold it in half, like so, and iron it down. And I have already done that. So I have my piece ironed down. Okay? Then I'm going to open up my cuff piece. Okay? On my material, you really can't tell, but there's always a right side and a wrong side. That would be like the inside of your shirt would be the wrong side. So you want to open this up so that the right side is up. Okay? The right side. This would be the good side. This would be the inside of it. Okay? So you're going to open that up. Then open up the main piece. And again, you want the right, you have to look at it, you want the right side up, the good side up. And you're going to lay that down, and you want to line up the tops as best that you can. Then you're going to take your cuff that you have folded over and ironed, and you're going to put the cut edges, not the folded edge. You're going to put the cut edges all the way up here. Okay? All right, now, here's where the magic comes in. And this is how I will know that you all did your homework of watching the video. Because if you didn't watch the video, you will be confused at this point. However, if you are watching the video, you will understand this, and it's helpful to get a visual. So now you've lined the top up, okay? All 3, the cuff, the main piece, and the strip, okay? Now, come down to the bottom of your main piece. And just kind of start rolling it up. And I know this is very weird. And this is why it really helps to have the video to watch. I have a hard time reading directions and understanding them, but if I can watch something, it really helps. Alright, so I'm going to bring this up to about there. That's the main piece. Now I'm going to take the cuff and I'm going to wrap it up to the top, and I'm going to line it up. And then I'm going to line it up as best that I can, and then I'm going to pin it down. And I'm going to pin it all the way across. Then I'm going to sew it together, and then we'll have the magic. Alright, so now I've pinned it together, and this is what you're going to have so far. Now I'm going to sew down the raw edges. Very carefully put my presser foot down. I always, when I start and when I end, make a couple stitches and then back stitch to give it a nice secure hold. And push your back stitch. Now I'm going to sew all the way down. Lift your presser foot up, gently pull, and snip your thread. Now, the fun part. Take your pins out. Now, once you've removed all your pins, make sure you get them out because you don't want to put your head on a pillow and get poked. You're going to carefully pull all of the inside stuff out. And you just kind of keep working on it. This is where it's the magic part. It's very cool. If you did it correctly, so we'll see. Look at that. Beautiful. So there's the front, the top of your pillow. With the strip. Back is nice. Okay. Then to give you a visual of what's coming next, doesn't that look like a cute pillowcase? We're going to sew it closed. We're going to do a French seam so that it looks pretty from both sides, so you don't have any loose stragglers. And then you're done. Alright, so before we stitch it completely finished, I like to iron it. So just because that makes it easier and gives it a more polished look. So just very carefully iron your entire pillowcase. Alright, now to do a French seam, which is what I want you all to do because it will give it a nicer finish. You're going to fold it together the way it really would look, with the nice edges up, okay? And you want to line up your decorative piece here the best that you can, and you're going to pin it together. And really try to get your edges perfectly lined up, or again, the best that you can. It will just give it a nicer look. So you're going to pin all the way down here and all the way down. And one thing I want you guys to really pay attention to is line up the edges on the top, okay? Line those up and line your decorative piece up. If that means down here they don't line up perfectly, don't worry about it, because you're going to sew down here and across here, and then we'll flip it inside out, and so that'll be okay. This is the top edge that you really want to line up the best that you can. All right. Now I'm going to carefully sew down the side and across the bottom. I don't need to stitch up this side because that's folded. I'm going to come in a little bit. All right. Now, stitch and then do a back stitch to secure it. Now, when you get to the bottom, to the corner, okay, make sure that your needle is down. Lift the presser foot, the needle's down, and then you can just pivot. And I have a pin in there that I'm going to take out. All right, and put your presser foot down. Now, I'm leaving a good amount of material because if I flip it over to the back side, my material is uneven. So I want to make sure that I sew them both together. And then I'm just going to eyeball and sew across the bottom. And it's probably a good idea to take the pins out, to stop and take them out. Come into the end, and again, when you come to the end, slow down and do a back stitch. Lift the needle up, pull the thread, snip. Make sure there aren't any pins. I left a couple. Right now, this is important. Okay. Again, I left a good edge here because I wanted to make sure that I got through both sides, and I was extra cautious. All right. But now you want to, again, carefully cut about 1/8 of an inch, as close as kind of you can safely get to your stitching, but don't cut over it. And you want to clean it up here, and you'll see why in just a minute. Now, you think you're done, but you're not. Now you are going to turn it inside out. And you want to make sure that you push all the seams out in the corners especially. This is what's going to give it that nice polished look. Okay? And just kind of roll them. And it's not a bad idea to pin them down again. Alright? So kind of roll, especially where the seams are. Now notice here, I lined it up the best that I could, but it's not perfect. But it's pretty good. Okay? Just do the best that you can. and work the seams out. Because then what you can do that all the way around, okay? Push the seams out, get them nice and flat. Then you're going to stitch again over top of it. And you'll say, why on earth am I doing that? That's what's called the French seam. And it will make it look really nice and professionally done when you're finished. So here's your last step. You flipped it inside out, you pushed your seams out, you've pinned it down. One more time, you're going to stitch down the side and across the bottom. Then you'll be done. Now feel for where the edge is, okay? And come in a little bit from it. Put your presser foot down. And you want this to be a good, secure edge. So I'm going to go over it several times. Back stitch. Stitch again. I might back stitch again, just in case somebody gets in a pillow fight. Alright. And I'm going to take my pins out as I go along. All the way down. Alright, so if you're sewing and all of a sudden it's not stitching, that is probably because your bobbin ran out of thread. So, you're going to thread your bobbin. Push that over. Wrap a little bit of thread. Snip the end. Let's see. This takes me a minute to I do it like this. And you can do it super fast. Because the bobbin thread is what's coming up underneath the sewing machine. This thread is stitching on the top. Alright. So when all that thread is wrapped around, that's all you do. This piece goes back and forth. You put this bobbin back in, hook it around, then you have to thread your sewing machine again. And over. And I certainly help you guys with this. And here's the hard part, especially when you get older. You can't see the eye of the needle. Feed it down, catch the thread. Voila. Alright, now see you have two threads. It's that simple. Nothing to panic about and say something's not working. It just stopped, the bottom piece stopped because it ran out of thread. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to line it up, put my presser foot down. Whoa. Slow that down. Alright. Cut any loose thread. Flip it right side out. Push the corners out. pillowcase. And you might want to iron it to make it look perfect. Nicely done. Now, when you go to the fabric store, pick something that appeals to you, pick colors that coordinate. This is going to look beautiful on your bed, so pick something that matches your bedroom. And definitely go to the scrap fabric table where it will be less expensive. And see, you have a nice finished edge on the inside. That's a French seam. You don't have loose things, tails that are going to fray in the washing machine. Very nicely and professionally made.